Hello and welcome to Trigger Warning. Bit of a special episode this week. You'll notice we are starting earlier than usual. That's because we are joined by the host of the phenomenally, ridiculously popular radio show, The Richie Allen Show. It is, of course, Mr. Richie Allen.
Slow on you.
Whatever the fuck that is. Yes, cheers.
Well, thanks for having me. I think it's 6 months since we did this last, I think. So thanks for inviting me back.
Always a pleasure.
I have to apologise straight off the bat because just as I was leaving the house, I've come down with a bit of an allergy. So the old throat and the nose is all blocked up. So I'm going to sound a bit worse than I normally sound.
That's okay.
Is the way of it. But thanks for having me. It's fantastic what you've done here since I was here last.
We're working really hard to get it right.
It's fantastic, yeah.
And of course, what's happened tonight is, you guys might not know, I talk to Richie a couple of times a week on average, and we just ring each other up. Richie got here early tonight so we could discuss things like with Alt Feed and things like that. And instead, we've sat gassing for 2 solid hours.
Like 2 old women.
Yes.
W-I-M-M-I-N.
Now, normally on a show, you know yourself, if you got a guest, you think, I don't want to talk too much. But I don't think we're going to run out of things to say, so I think we're going to be all right.
No. It's not as if there's not much going on.
No, and we did the interview thing last time. Tonight's just, a chat about everything that's going on. First of all, one thing I did want to touch on straight away, it's a problem you're having right now. Because, I've got a real hard on about social media and shit like that. Facebook have really fucked you hard right now, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like Facebook, and I never cared about the page for the radio show. In fact, this guy, Raj, is genuine, a friend of mine whose name isn't really Raj. But when I was going to delete it about 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, Raj said, just leave it there and I'll keep an eye on it. Because I deleted my own personal Facebook page. Because I don't like Facebook. So it stayed up. But recently they've taken down the show Facebook page, which again doesn't bother me in the slightest. But what it has done is it annoyingly has affected the traffic to the website. Yes. Which you knew would happen. I didn't realise, even though there is a lot of shadow banning going on, Facebook seemingly is still important. Oh, yeah. It still helps with the reach in that. So, there is no Facebook page, and it has affected the reach. So on the radio show this evening, I jokingly said to the audience, stop being a shower of lazy fucking bastards. Don't wait for notifications. They're not coming. Yeah. You're the original internet guy. If you like a website, whatever it is, no matter what it is, could be kittens, it could be cars, it could be movies, bookmark it or keep it in your mind.
Well, it's never been easier. You just click bookmark and add to bookmarks bar, and it's right there. Right there. Because obviously we're doing the thing, we're trying to grow Alt Feed now, Item Fix as well. Yeah. And you're up against it. You're just up against it because people sit on social media and wait to be told what to do. Yeah. And then they might just read the headline. Yeah. But I know that the click-through on the Richie Allen site has been hit quite hard by Facebook. So richieallen.co.uk. Go, bookmark, join, register.
Just check in with
Get involved.
Some days you might check in. It's like any website, and nothing might have changed from the previous day. But check in anyway, if you like it. If you don't like it, just fucking ignore it.
You tend to put stuff up most days, though, don't you?
Yeah, I put an article on, pretty much most days, And then the podcasts are on there. I mean, you built it. Yeah. It's fantastic. So, people need to realise that. Look, you're the man for this. You said to me several years ago, one of the biggest problems you found with Facebook was that people were treating their Facebook accounts like that all of a sudden that they had a website.
Yeah, well, they moved their websites there because pages worked really well.
That's right, yeah.
And then once Facebook had everybody's pages, Facebook said, you can't talk to everyone that likes your page now unless you pay.
Unless you pay.
And then you had a lot of people who bought followers for the inflated numbers. And of course, then all of a sudden their advertising was infinitely less powerful because you're spending money to advertise to bot accounts that don't care. And that's where we are now. It's where we are. They own it. They own the space.
It's never been more important, has it, to have a website. I would say to my listeners on the radio show every now and then, I would say, listen, if you're as pissed off with Twitter and Facebook as I am, why not do a website for yourself?
A blog.
Or a blog. Yeah. It's so easy to do it. And then give your address to people and do it that way. And of course, if they want to do something more serious, a more bells and whistles website, well, then you can speak to somebody like you and help them out with that. But there's no excuse to not do that.
No.
Because that can't be censored. And if I want to see that, if you're listening to me and you say, Richie, I wrote an interesting article, I can see that.
Yes.
You can tell, I can go and look at it. So yeah, websites, yeah.
By the way, I apologise for any banging and things. We've got guys that they've redone all the network cabling in the building today, and they're still here now at 20 to 10 at
That's
night.
dedication.
That is dedication to earning a quality invoice. But yeah, they're doing everything. They've switched the internet back on in this room earlier so that we could do all the shows we've done tonight.
I mean, come on.
In fact, if you have a bit of patience with me, I'm going to do my pitches. I've got to do my call-outs and things. So first one is, of course, to Accounts Direct. If you are a small business owner here in the UK, do get in touch with them. It's accountsdirect.co. If you're in the shit, it's difficult times, they'll help you get out of it. They'll help you stay out of it. If you're not, they'll help you improve your business. Get in touch with them direct at accountsdirect.co, or just get in touch with me and I'll put you in touch with them. They're very nice. Which reminds me, Stephen, everything's on the alt feed channel now. We're moving everything there. We're going to have an announcement hopefully pretty soon. Stephen's show goes out at 5:30 on a Thursday, live on alt feed at 6:30. It's Plain Comedy with Lorraine Robinson and Colin Manford. Then usually at 10 o'clock it's Trigger Warning. So, go and subscribe to the channel, please. It really helps, and it helps get us out there. And also, if you fancy contributing to the Alt Feed project, you can do so at patreon.com/triggerwarningtv for now, or you can drop a super chat right in here, right now, and we'll read that off. Am I showing off a chunk of gold?
I don't know, are you?
It's my wedding ring. I keep that.
Is it the wedding ring?
I can't wear it in my hand. So I've worn it around my neck.
Chunky fingers.
Yeah, that's what it is, chunky fingers. I find rings it's from playing, when I used to play guitar all the time, I didn't like it.
He's a guitar player too. He's not just a good looking.
Oh, I'm just
television presenter.
Great at
everything. You can do it all.
I'm great. There's nothing I can't do, apparently, apart from earn a proper living. But that's by the by. We've done the website, done the Facebook. I spoke about alt feed, and another thing to do with alt feed is that we haven't got a date yet, do we? But the Richie Allen TV show is going to
It's been so long since we did that. I wonder how many people who listen to the radio show now ever even saw it, because it was way back, wasn't it?
It was about 5 years ago.
4 or 5 years ago. They're still there.
They are.
They're on the YouTube channel. Great fun, those. A lot of work went into them. They were brilliant. They looked great. You did a great job with them. And yeah, I'd love to do that again. It's just for the fun of it, because when you're doing radio and you're in a home-built studio, you're by yourself most of the time.
Whereas on a Thursday, in here with the guys,
this is it, yeah.
Couple of beers, have a cracking bit of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then trigger warning afterwards when people want to step up the serious content.
When they want to see quality television, they stick around for you, exactly. So that's the plan, but I wouldn't, it wouldn't kill, because I was asked this recently. Somebody said, will it mean then that you will drop the Thursday radio show? And the answer is no, I won't. I'll do the Thursday radio show and then come in here.
Yeah, because you're always prepped.
Yeah, I'm always prepped.
Whatever
anyway.
you do, so
exactly,
you can come in, de-stress for an hour or so, and away we go.
Fun.
There
we
we
go. Loose, yeah.
There we are. So you've heard it here, guys. It's going to be on the Alt Feed channel.
We endorse the accountants, by the way, because they're my accountants.
Yes, they are.
They are, and they're Jewish. They're Jewish, always good.
Jewish accountants, the best accountants.
They have all the money in the world. They run everything. They're great. They're very good at minding money. There'll be murders now. They're fantastic. No, they are. Stephen he's an absolutely top bloke. One of the nicest guys I've ever met. So great guy.
How much did he pay you to say that?
No, nothing.
He's a shamefully horrible man.
He wasn't here when I arrived today, but he's
bank
a good
transfer
guy,
was it? I understand.
Yeah, bank transfer. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So do check out Stephen's show as well. I'm just going to let's say a couple of those to a couple of people. We've got Paul McCord.
How you doing, Paul?
Joe Boddington. Cup of Tea.
Joe Boddington is a musician based in Shorten. She's orchestral manoeuvres in the dark, Joe. No, she isn't. She plays in an orchestra.
Oh, right.
Yeah, put her at the back.
I was just really confused for a minute there.
You put her at the back.
In Chorlton, you say?
Yeah, she's Joe is either a flautist or a cellist. I think she might be a cellist. Yeah.
Paul McCord, we said hello to Joe. Cup of Tea. Rose Resner. Hello, Rose. Censored Spiro.
That's our Spiro.
Oh, hello, Spiro. How you doing?
Activistpost.com. He's got a YouTube channel with massive following.
Of course.
And ethical guy, always does it properly, so he's a good guy, Spiro, yeah.
Nice to see you around, Spiro.
Yeah.
He approves of the production. Nice and crisp.
It's amazing. It's like being in Hollywood, really.
Especially when you go outside.
Paul Hollywood's bathroom, maybe. No, it really is lovely. It's fantastic here.
The studio's really coming along. We're going to have the radio room in there soon.
Yeah, you're building a radio studio.
Yeah.
And nobody asked my opinion on how you should do it.
We haven't started it yet, that's why.
Fantastic.
Don't worry. You're going to be here every week, dude.
I'll be telling you.
Yeah.
This is your show, but I've got to.
This is a show.
I'm still stunned at this. Ireland, the home of the free, land of the brave. We sent
no snakes.
We sent
no snakes.
No snakes in Ireland. No, that's a myth. We sent a 66-year-old woman to prison for not wearing a mask in a Dunster.
Well done. You must be very proud.
I'm not very proud. No, I think the country's had better moments.
One or two.
By the way, the lady's name is Margaret Buttimer.
Well,
only spent a night in prison apparently.
A scam. Why?
I don't know. Colin Roberts is. No, I won't say. I've
say whatever you want here.
I've never said that word on air. The word that rhymes with runt and stunt, and it also rhymes with cunt, but I won't say that either. Colin Roberts, yeah, this guy. She didn't wear a mask in a supermarket. She was harassed by the manager and by the staff. She told him she wouldn't wear one. She might have sworn, but in a very Irish old womany type way. Nothing very heavy.
Like if you're in Glasgow and an old lady tells you to get to fuck.
Yeah, she was eventually arrested. She was summoned, went to court, and she was sent to prison for the weekend, but only spent, I think, a night in prison and was subsequently released on the Saturday. This is what it's come to.
How does this work? How have we ended up in this position? Okay,
yeah.
I get it. You know, there are lots of things we agree and disagree on. I believe there is a virus. I believe some people get very, very poorly from it. I know someone personally, as I just told you, that's recently been incredibly ill.
You won't get any argument from me.
It does happen. There are lots of things out there that will do this to you. I remember back at the beginning of lockdown, during when I said, well, if it is, just a couple of weeks, not a bad idea. Keeps everyone apart. Calms it down.
You're very honest now.
Yeah.
Because that's what you said at the time.
That's exactly what I said.
I was on a field in Salford with 2 dogs at the time. What did I say to you when you said that?
Oh, yeah, it won't end, it won't stop.
It'll never fucking end.
And I agreed.
But it doesn't mean that I know any more than you.
No, but in theory,
shit,
a couple of weeks at that point,
to
just, let's calm this fucking thing down a bit. Great idea. But of course, it never ends up like that. But we've ended up at a place now where, you know my opinion on it. If you want to be vaccinated, be vaccinated. If you don't want to be vaccinated, don't be vaccinated. I believe it's got to be everybody's choice. I don't give a fuck what reasons they've got for making those choices. That's not my business.
Yeah.
Yours. It's theirs. Everyone now, it really is. We're on the verge of a Kristallnacht. It seems like when they suggested wearing little badges. What? Are we doing this? And people are like, yeah, that's a good idea. And now, the government scientists admitted, didn't they? We went too far with the Project Fear thing. We went too far. But this is how the Russian experiments
were exposed, weren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not so much they admitted it. There's a book out by Laura Dodsworth, is it? Which gets into this. Yeah, they had a whole department of behavioural psychologists advising them on how to ramp up the fear, how to make people scared of something they do not need to be scared of.
Yeah.
Because you're right, some people have gotten ill, but those were sometimes comorbidities.
What it was
people.
Is a complete lack of faith in in the public's ability to be reasonable. Because we all know in a reasonable society, if it was that bad, you say, right, fully shelter the vulnerable, financial support, the whole thing. The least vulnerable, just go on about your fucking business.
Yeah.
They say, we've got to do a multi-tiered approach. No, we went into full shutdown and everything. They have to sell that.
So why do you believe that they made a complete fucking balls of it and were stupid, or there's something else going on? And I've long parted company years ago with the notion that they're incompetent, they made a balls of it. In my opinion, I know you might see it differently, they didn't fuck it up. This was planned. This has been planned for years, in my opinion.
I see, even if it wasn't planned, my take is there's a massive opportunism angle here. This has been modelled for many years, not just 2013 or
no
whatever.
doubt,
It's been modelled for years because it's part of disaster planning anyway, which governments do have to do. They have to plan for everything. Was it the Americans that planned for zombies?
Have they really?
And they said, we know it can't happen, but
there's a contingency plan for zombies.
We need to have contingency plans. And it came out that there was... I thought it was a joke.
But we're surrounded by zombies now. I drove over here and there's guys walking on the street with their children wearing masks. There's guys on fucking push bikes That's a very old word, that push.
It certainly is.
Nobody pushes a bike anymore and jumps on.
And penny farthings.
Nobody does that. Penny farthing. There are guys cycling around Salford with masks on. So there's your fucking zombies there, in my opinion, right?
Well, it's like at my son's school. He doesn't have to wear a mask. He's 9. The older kids don't wear one in school either. But if you go on school grounds, they ask you to wear a mask.
Yeah.
So I put one on. Because there's a time and a place, in my view, for a protest, and it's not to give my son a showing up or cause Rick. So yeah, I'll make my compromises and live with them regardless of what anyone thinks, because the only thing I give a fuck about truly is my family anyway.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But it's like myself and the wife have spoken about vaccinations. Certainly probable. With my folks as well in their 80s. Yeah, I know they've had theirs. They've had theirs. They've had theirs. I'm quite... I'm reasonably fine with it. Don't bother me. My choice. They won't be getting near my son. They will not be vaccinating my son. Now, I know it's not on the cards right now, but it is. They want to put it in everybody.
They want to give the Pfizer-BioNTech to 12-year-olds and over, don't they? They want to use the FDA research on that, and the FDA has approved it in America. So they want to basically grandfather that fucking research over here. This is the lunacy of it. And do that. The French today... I wrote about this, I think. I might have put something on the website, I can't remember, to be honest. But the French are well, when I say the French are, a very powerful medical lobby group in France is urging the government to mandate the vaccine for professionals in certain fields and for every child in the country.
Yeah.
To mandate it. They're saying because uptake is very low, or it's 70%, they want herd immunity, which is bollocks anyway. And they're saying that we have mandated some vaccines in France, so let's just go with this. It's good. It's for the good of everybody else, for the good of the country. This is the idea that by vaccinating yourself, you are protecting others. Now, that is monumental bollocks. There's no scientific evidence to prove that. A vaccinated person does not prevent somebody else becoming ill. I've searched... I'm not talking about, independent media sites. I've looked at every medical journal I could ever read online to find any evidence that but by vaccinating myself, I would be protecting somebody else who's vaccinated. It's nonsense. They make some argument about, well, there are some people in society who are allergic to the vaccines. They can't have them. That's not their fault. Boo-hoo for them. So you get the vaccine on their behalf. Fuck off.
Yeah, I'm sure the idea of obviously having a vaccinated population, moving away even from COVID, is that the less people that can get ill with something, the less that illness will circulate amongst the community. It makes a level of sense. But when was it the government themselves that said, well, this won't stop you actually catching it, or transmitting it, so it will stop you getting badly ill with it. So I thought, if only they marketed it that way in the first place, I think more people would actually have been willing to take it. Why sell the lie?
Here's a bit of breaking news. You're not going to believe this. I saw this evening on Twitter, so it must be true.
Everything on Twitter is true.
No, it's a snippet from an article that's in the Lancet journal. So the Lancet is accepted as it's peer reviewed and all that, and it's about how effective are these vaccines at protecting you from illness. And according to the Lancet, this is stunning stuff now. I mean, this should be headline news tomorrow morning. It should be the talking point on every political talk show tomorrow morning, but it won't be. Let me just bring up gallery, because I screen grabbed this for myself earlier, if I can get screenshots.
See, Graham, it's not just me that does this during a show. He takes it, because I'm always like,
but I'm allowed to do it because...
Well, I'm allowed to do it too.
But I'm a guest.
State of the pair.
This is going to take me a minute now, right?
I'll just look at some things.
This is from the Lancet. Vaccine efficacy is generally reported as a relative risk reduction, or. We've seen that before. It uses the relative risk, or, i.e. the ratio of attack rates with and without a vaccine, which is expressed as 1-or. Ranking by reported efficacy gives relative risk reductions of 95% for the Pfizer-BioNTech, 94% for the Moderna, 90% for the Gamaleya, and 67% for the Johnson & Johnson, and 67% for AstraZeneca, right? However, or, which is relative risk reduction, this is quick, it'll only take me another second.
It's okay,
or should be seen against the background risk of being infected and becoming ill with COVID-19, which varies between reduction, or, okay, which is the difference between attack rates with and without a vaccine. And it considers the whole population, ARRs, to be ignored because they give a much less impressive effect than RRRs. So the government scientists are ignoring this data because it doesn't suit them. Wait for it. So in actuality, the reduction of risk in actuality is between 1 and 3% for the AstraZeneca Oxford, between 1 and 2% for the Moderna, 1 and 2% for Johnson & Johnson, and 0.93% for the Gamaleya, whatever the hell that is, and 0.84% for the Pfizer BioNTech vaccines. This is the Lancet Journal. It's effectively saying that not only are these medicines not vaccines at all, but they're not going to do a damn fucking thing in preventing you getting ill from coronavirus.
You just want to kill Granny.
And that's a fact. I want to murder Granny.
You just want to murder Granny, you dirty, terrible bastard.
Double-stamped Granny. So and this has been in the Lancet this week. Even the claim that by taking it, if you do become ill, it'll greatly reduce the odds of you getting seriously ill. It's nonsense. It's just nonsense.
So just to be, let me just get this straight though.
Yeah. Don't make me pick that up again and read that again.
You're not getting the vaccine.
No, of course not.
No. Because I know when you posted that on Twitter, your letter.
Yeah.
I was telling people he won't.
He's getting it. He's kind of got it. Yeah.
He already went. Where else? He's had 5.
About 5 of them, just to be on the safe side.
All different.
No, of course.
He pretends he doesn't know what Gamaleya is. I don't know what Gamaleya is.
What the fuck is Gamaleya?
But he pretends he doesn't know. He asked for that.
It's the sequel to Jambalaya, maybe. I don't know. So what you have is no. Neither myself nor my better half are having it. I won't have to answer for that. She's already being asked questions by her company. Ironically, even though her company has effectively mandated that they all stay at home, right?
Fucks me off. This is the thing that fucks me off because whilst I am still open to that vaccine based on what I've read and everything else, it doesn't make any odds to me. I am so horrified by how quickly we are demonizing and hating on people. Not only the ones that go, I'm not taking it, it's full of microchips. Not just those guys, but from people going, I just don't know. I'm not comfortable with it. To which the answer should be, see how you go.
Yeah.
See how you go.
A young BBC presenter dropped dead after having the AstraZeneca jab of a blood clotting incident. I believe the blood clotting incidents with the AstraZeneca are being underreported by the media. In fact, I know they're being underreported by the media because the government's own yellow card reporting system, you can see that. I think between the United States, Europe, and between the UK, and I know you're going to say, well, potentially more than 100 million people have been vaccinated, but I don't care. Between Europe, the US, and the UK, more than 17,000 people have died after having some of these jabs. Even if I believed that it was a vaccine, which it isn't, I mean, it's not a vaccine, it doesn't prevent you getting ill. If I believed it did what it said in the tin, based on the reporting that I'm seeing, not from InfoWars or any fucking nonsense like that, but on
UK column
or any nonsense like that either, on the government's own websites, I wouldn't touch it. I know, I wouldn't touch it with a barge pole. Personally, but I don't think I'm any better than you by not taking it.
I know, that's the thing. Isn't that how it's supposed to work? I respect your views and your decisions. You would respect mine.
I don't ram it down your throat. I don't tell you every 2 minutes, look, people are dying. Or,
it's no point.
No, I don't. There's no fucking point. You're not going to listen to me
This
anyway.
is how grown-ups are supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly.
We disagree on a lot of different things, but that's half of the enjoyment we get from our conversations.
I would have thought so, yeah.
But to me, that is. That's how it should work.
Yeah.
How else can we ever progress?
What am I going to do if something happens to you? And I'm not even joking if I say that. It would be horrendous.
Tell them you were right.
But I wouldn't do it.
No, do it.
Go triumphalist on it and go, you see?
If you want. I'd rather you didn't. But you're still welcome to say, I told him.
Caroline's mother and sister had it. And when Caroline asked her, which one did you have? Caroline's mother is twice as eccentric as Caroline is. She's as mad as a box of fucking frogs, Caroline's mother, right? No pun intended.
Yeah, my folks both had it fine.
And so Caroline's like, which one did you have? And mother's like, sacre bleu, how the fuck do I know? I just had one.
My folks had the Pfizer. And I'm going to make...
And you're delighted they had the Pfizer?
I am, actually.
Yeah.
Because out of all the people I know that have been vaccinated, the only people I know that have been poorly, in some cases quite seriously poorly, have had the AstraZeneca vaccine, which of course is the one Graham will end up getting.
I'm not getting vaccinated, thank you.
Good man.
When they turn up with the rubber sticks,
Persuaders.
yeah, and hold you down and have a proper good conversation with you about it.
Does that not concern you? You are genuinely one of the brightest guys I've ever worked with. Does it not concern you that they're sending persuaders around to knock on people's fucking doors, and then they're sending guys behind the persuaders with the fucking kit?
Richie,
I mean, what the fuck?
Regardless,
why are they so desperate
regardless
to have
of
this
what my
vaccine?
opinion might be on all this, I am horrified by virtually everything.
I know.
By virtually everything I see every fucking day horrifies me because it erodes.
Why did you put a face there? Are you getting dogs abuse or what?
No, someone
someone
just told me off for saying, look, UK column is not nonsense.
Oh, it is nonsense.
It's absolute fucking bollocks.
We
were gonna drip this one out afterwards.
No, we're not. Look, you don't talk about these people because you don't want to give them any fucking oxygen.
Yeah.
These are the people. And we're going to drop it because I have no interest in dissing them, if that's a word. These are the dickheads who told people that it was true, that they knew it to be true, that teachers were eating babies in a primary school in fucking Hampstead. A guy called Brian Gerrish, a fake news fucking, he's a how do you say it? A tsar of fucking fake news, this prick.
A bullshit tsar.
Don't get me fucking started. And of course he was invited on the radio show and his bollocks dropped.
Of course,
and ran a million fucking miles.
His ass fell out.
Listen, and you know what? So if the UK column puts out a couple of fucking screen grabs that they took from the government website, that's not fucking journalism. Anybody could do that. The problem is, you see, forget UK column. I actually have nothing against them because I don't know them.
I know. So allow me to go on record and say UK column are absolutely full of fucking shit.
Wankers. Look, these are the guys, right? The problem you have with journalism and the media is you have to be whiter than white.
Yes.
Forever. If you're in the journalism business and you put out a story where you tell people that babies were eaten alive in a primary school and they did it in McDonald's, and that's what this guy told people.
Where else?
Or where else would you do it? You gotta have those sesame seed buns.
Maybe
with your
KFC,
kids,
they come with buckets.
You gotta have your sesame seed buns with your fucking line of child.
And a pickle.
Madness, right?
I like a pickle with a baby.
When you do that, it's over. So you don't get in 3 or 4 years' time to try and spruce your website up a bit and, you know, get some fucking cool graphics and then say we're a serious news organisation. No, you're fucking not. You never were and you never will be. So that's what I laugh at UK column because I wind up my listeners because some of them send me links. Oh, Richie, will you promote this? I'm like, no, I can't.
Yeah.
But Richie, it might be true. And I'm like, well, it might be true, but the barrel is poisoned.
Yes.
You don't get an apple from a poisoned barrel. I can't touch it. And of course, some other listeners who they just want to be, they want to consume, they want their own opinions fed back to them. So it doesn't matter what any of these independent content creators have ever done. It doesn't matter. So long as you're telling me what I want to hear, I love you.
Well, it's that thing, isn't it? Do you remember when? I mean, I never knew David. I only met you. You were there when I met David. You introduced me.
David,
you brought me down
right.
to London.
Yeah.
Lovely guy.
Top man.
And, you know, they followed me on Twitter, or whoever runs his Twitter account, and I followed back. And as you know, I only pulled away from them completely when they just shared that story about, I don't have any medical treatment for cancer, just take baking soda and shit like that. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Somebody on...
Because it was like that health news, that fucking website is evil. Because... I believe everyone should have an opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you. You shouldn't be telling people
There's a
what
responsibility.
to do and what not to do.
Exactly.
You shouldn't be doing that, yeah.
Had it been framed of, did you know that it might be that if you took... Why not have baking powder while you're having other...
Why do you think that is? Why do you think in some quarters of the independent media, why do you think there's a lack of ability to frame an argument in the way you just did?
Because everybody wants to be the prophet.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's the massive narcissism.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's hugely enjoyable, like Alex Jones. I've not watched him for ages, so it's worked. His cancellations work, but I used to love watching Alex.
Yeah. I loved Alex. I used to interview him on the radio.
I went on his show.
Years ago. Yeah,
I went on his show for he kept me on for bloody ages, and we didn't keep in touch because I did all those jokes about him fucking Paul Joseph Watson. Push back, Watson. And all those sort of things. Push harder.
I always saw Watson as his fluffer.
I had to go the extra mile, dude. I had to go.
You had to go the extra mile, as usual.
Because I remember he was like, you know, if I come to the UK, we'll meet up. I thought, well, that'll never happen. You know, we'll go on each other's shows. Never happen. I'd love to get him on. I'd love to get him on, but he's
too big for us.
He
now.
is. I don't have the numbers to justify that.
I know, to be fair to him, he never gave a shit about that. When I was doing the radio thing in Spain years ago, when I started doing it, it had no audience. None. But he didn't give a shit about that. Yeah. Back then he was as committed to the free flow of information as you are.
Yeah.
A lot of my listeners misunderstand you, because when you say things like you criticise health websites, they think that you're just a bastard that's trying to shut it down. They don't understand. You're not trying to fucking shut it down.
No.
You would never try to shut it down.
I
ever.
will just stop looking at it.
We just stop looking at it and put forward a cogent argument as to why they might do it a bit differently. Look, I'm 46 and please God, I will remain healthy. I feel
you
good
might
at the
even
moment.
live to my age.
Might even live to your age, 49. Now.
Not yet. 48 and 3/4.
48 and 3/4. If, God forbid, I was given a diagnosis, if I was given the big C and I said, sorry son, this ain't bravado now, I wouldn't touch the chemo. Not in a million
Your
years.
choice.
Exactly. And I would make an argument, but I suppose I would make an argument in the way that I would make an argument. Not like the people who say, don't do this, don't do that, don't listen to your oncologist, don't speak to your doctor, take this. How could you do that? I would say, listen, I'm doing it this way because I've seen the statistics.
I believe this will work. I believe this will work.
Chemotherapy. This might be the way for me. But telling people what they should and shouldn't do.
It's dangerous. I watched a guy on YouTube
game, isn't it?
who had pancreatic cancer.
Yeah.
Which is a particularly bad way to check out.
Right?
Well, yeah, and it's a bad way to check out.
Virtually. But
and
maybe there is a cure.
He was convinced to use marijuana.
The oil or
just use marijuana. Just pound it in any way you can. So, of course, at some point he was taking that much. The doctors were like, well, there's certain medical treatments we just can't give you with that.
Yeah.
You need to cut that. He was like, no, I've been told. He died a fucking dog's death. In fact, no, not a dog's death, because we make sure dogs have peaceful, calm,
we do,
easy deaths.
Don't get into that now, euthanasia. Don't start
I won't, but like this guy died a death that he should not have died because he didn't get any help. By the same token, that's not a defence of Big Pharma and industry, because a guy I knew quite well on Live Leak, his nickname was Icky Jim. A big fucking biker dude. Proper biker dude. Conservative. Live free or die.
All right.
Full thing.
You have to pry the guns from my cold, dead hands. That's
full blown. He got the cancer, and the insurance companies wouldn't provide the level of care he needed, and he died a fucking screaming skeleton.
Did he?
So I believe, though, it's your choice.
Your choice, yeah.
You decide. Everyone's got their own rights to choose their destiny. For me, as long as your thinking is based in, you're fully aware of your decisions. I'm not going to say rational, because rational can be subjective.
It can be subjective.
You have to be, as long as you're fully aware, you're not at a point in illness where you could be making decisions based on something.
Isn't it a bit spooky that in this country we have the Cancer Act, and it is illegal to talk about cures for cancer that don't involve radiotherapy? These are things I discovered over the years on the Richie Allen
Cancer
journey.
Act is a disgusting, revolting fucking holdover.
I mean, how did they know? I mean, you mentioned the bacon soda. I'll tell you a story about that very briefly, because you'll be bored to tears because you've heard the story a million times. For the viewers, David Icke, David's a great guy, David. Whatever anybody thinks of his opinions on life and on the world, he's a great bloke.
He's a lovely guy.
And he's sincere. Wow. He believes what he says, and that's all that matters for me. And when we, did a lot of work together, always got on well with him. Never fell out with him, despite what people think. I never fell out with David. And would always support him and back him up. He's a great bloke, a very intelligent bloke. David said to me years ago, he said, Richie, speak to this guy Tullio Simoncini, have a chat with him. He's been struck off in Italy, and they've fucking demonised him. They vilified this guy over bicarbonate of soda. He was treating people with it. Long story short, anyway, I said to David, and David would always level with you, David. David used to say to me sometimes, he never asked me to interview anybody, ever, but he would sometimes say, you might consider him, Richie, or her. And I would say, what do you think? And he was very honest. He would always go, well, I don't know. I'd like to believe what he's saying, but I don't know. But with Tullio, he was convinced of his sincerity. Tullio was a cancer doctor, and he was very much I won't say he was renowned, but he was very, very respected. I've interviewed him a few times. He believed that stomach cancers particularly, they were fungal in nature.
Yes.
He's convinced of this. And he treated people with stomach cancers with bicarbonate of soda and swears that many of these people went on for a recovery. Now, before you jump in, I gave him a proper chasing when I interviewed him because I was really concerned. At this time I was in Spain, and I'd only gotten to know David. And even in Spain, at Talk Radio Europe, the rules were fucking deadly serious. You couldn't say this shit. I tore into the guy now. Absolutely tore into him, but not grandstanding. I wasn't Piers Morgan.
Yeah. I
would shut up and let him speak then. And he said, he had a very thick Italian accent. Oh, Richie, you know. And he said, it's true. And I came out of it. Of course, I said, what about, he said, forget about bicarbonate for the lungs or for the liver, forget that. But if you've got tumours in your stomach, he said, I'm telling you, it's going to be helpful. So, of course, I did all the disclaimers anyway.
Isn't the best part of that one, though?
Yeah.
Just to jump in.
It's not going to do any fucking harm.
I was going to say, no matter what treatment you're getting,
stir it in the water.
Heaven
off you
forbid
go.
I should get a stomach cancer.
Yeah.
But if I did,
I'd do it, in a heartbeat.
well, why wouldn't I? What have I got to lose?
And as they're giving me the last rites, I'd be on the mobile. Tullio, you fucking lying Italian bastard!
It's not fungus, you prick.
And you, Ike! but he totally fucking believed it.
All my life fucking wasted.
You bastard, Tullio. Don't trust the Italians. But a totally gentle and gentlemanly figure. There was nothing in it for him. He wasn't charging $600-700 a pop. Come and see me.
You can't buy bicarbonate of soda, can you?
How would you make that bill out? 20 cent for the bicarbonate.
Mixing 1,400 euros.
I mean, it's... But this idea that chemo is the only way for cancer, I don't believe it. Over the years, through the Richie Allen show, I've met some great people, genuine people. Cannabis oil, the THC oil, there's something magical about that, Hayden.
I've seen people with Parkinson's
there must be
taking cannabis in a variety of different ways and being able to function. Cheers. Being able to function. So as far as I'm concerned, do it. Why wouldn't you? We know there's something in that.
Oh yeah, of course.
Psychedelics and mental health.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not suggesting if anybody out there suffers from depression or a touch of the schizophrenia, don't go out and buy a load of strawberry blotters and get off your fucking tits. It's probably not the right idea. But if you do, watch Jackie Chan movies and shit. Keep it light. Keep it light. Don't watch Leon or anything like that. Just keep it chill.
Drunken master.
Yeah, there you go. But there is something. Of course, there's something in there. You know, anything that can help that doesn't hurt is brilliant.
Look at how they've attacked it over the years, though.
We all know.
Look at those mums with the sorry, Hayden. Look at those mums with the children with the really serious epileptic fits.
Well, marijuana's one of the greatest.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a user.
Just let them fucking have the oil. But they make them go to Holland. They make criminals out of them.
Of course. Now, I'm not a user of marijuana. Smoke, occasional beer. Those are my vices. You know, and those are my vices. I was just checking. I was running my shit. What can I talk about? What can't I? But I don't use marijuana. However, I am a proponent of it being perfectly legal.
Absolutely right. Legalise it tomorrow.
How can we have Mad Dog 2020 or Wicked being legal and not marijuana?
What the fuck is that?
Drinks.
Oh, drinks.
Very few people get stoned and feel like fighting.
No.
Way I see it, let them get more stoned.
Yeah.
It's great. Also, the medical side effects.
Don't drive, though.
No.
And don't be in charge of children. Because I'm a big supporter of legalising cannabis.
But that is reasonably
I'm a Salfordian these days. I'm an adopted Salfordian.
You sound like
I sound like it. You can smell, the minute you get past the welcome to Salford, you can smell the ganja.
Of course, responsible use is for everything.
And it's only when you just get to Swinton, that's when the smell kind of slightly goes away. Everybody in Salford is smoking the wacky backy, right? And contrary to popular belief about Salford, incredibly peaceful place. We've lived there for 2 years. It's lovely. Legalise it.
I told you where I lived in Salford.
I know where you lived.
It was not lovely.
You see, I can't even say... Yeah,
there was a lot of creative wiring to provide power In fact, a chap that I knew and no longer know and could not identify and do not remember his surname, he had a tag on at the time, so he was at home a lot, taking lots of drugs. They used to go and tap into lampposts and things like that. And the last block of flats where he lived, they tried to get him in trouble because the woman who owned the sunbed shop downstairs thought her bills were high. And she said, I'm going to have the electrician going into all the walls. He thought that was fine because they got in through the fucking pavement.
No way.
That's very creative, lads.
Very creative, yeah.
Very creative. When Virgin were
the government could have put those guys to use, you know.
Yeah, if only they'd have been robbed fucking blind if they had. It was wonderful around there, but there were a lot of cannabis farms. And they were all powered from the corporation, which is nice, from the lamppost.
One of the most commonly heard phrases in modern Salford is, there's a grow on there. Honestly, there's a grow on there.
Well, I remember.
Because sometimes it's so strong, the smell, you think, yeah, there's a house around somewhere. But they get caught easily. They have these helicopters now and everything, don't they?
Oh, well, as a matter of course.
Yeah.
They used to, allegedly, if they were out on a shout, on the way back, turn on the thermals. Just have a look at some houses on the way back.
Thermals, yeah.
So, and when there's one house lit up like fucking Alex Ferguson's nose, there's just something going on.
I'm an incredibly boring bastard. I've never tried it. A mate of mine said, because I hate smoke. I hate smoke. I hate cigarettes. I hate smoke. A mate of mine said, I'll make you some cookies. He did. I didn't fancy it. The only thing I ever done was I took one of them strawberries years ago. I was like 16, 17 and went straight into the...
Went in dry there, didn't you, fella?
Yeah. I had a bit of a hallucination. I thought I was burning, so I jumped into the river and was rescued by a couple of my mates.
Isn't it funny how it affects different people?
Crazy, yeah.
I used to smash the acid when I was a young man. I stopped when I was about, I think, 21. When I met my missus, funnily enough, stopped everything.
And you weren't even into the baggy scene in Manchester.
No.
You weren't listening to Happy Mondays.
No, how it used to work was...
You were listening to fucking Iron Maiden.
Metal and Carcass. But what I used to have...
Carcass.
Carcass are
what
brilliant.
The fuck is Carcass?
You not listening to Carcass?
No, mate, no.
Brilliant British
I haven't lived
grindcore band. They're very good. Musically very good. The vocals might not appeal to you. Lots of the songs have these hugely convoluted medical titles, and it's all about carving up corpses, of course. Of course it is.
Fantastic.
But they were an offshoot of Napalm Death.
Oh, I remember them.
My band supported them, you know.
You supported. I remember you told me this.
Supported Napalm Death, yeah.
Napalm Death, eh?
They won't remember me. Although one of them's added me on LinkedIn.
No way.
But I think that was because of Ogrish and Lively. I don't think it was because we supported them.
I've really worked hard on your image among my listeners for the last 5 years.
And I've
just been fucking undone. He's into satanic heavy metal, Carcass.
Yeah. I know Carcass sounds satanic. Deicide is satanic. I like that. Burzum.
As in kill God, like.
Deicide. Yeah, Glenn Benton, the singer, used to burn an upside down cross into his forehead.
The world is better off without these people, I think.
No, he's still going.
Oh, no, I know he's still going, but I mean, if he wasn't here tomorrow, we'd be better off.
Well, isn't that funny, though? You say that, but in every poll and survey, people that listen to death metal,
I know you love
and the most brutal ones, are far more mentally balanced and happy than people that listen to that weird fucking shit you do, like Bruce Bono and
Bruce Bono,
UB40 and those.
You've been framed.
Jeremy Beadle and shit. So that's a fact. So you can stick that up your fucking pipe there, fella.
Are you going to ask Graham to read out a few comments or what?
Do you know what? We've ignored everybody for hours, haven't we? This is the problem, isn't it? We start rattling away.
Can't get him off the phone. I actually have a real job, you know. I have to produce a radio show. I've got to edit it. I've got to edit all.
And it's that. Can I just say,
he rings me up and fucking 2 hours of this.
So what happens when you fucking ring me up? This is what he does. He goes, it's just a short call. It's just a short call. And
that's spookily accurate in person.
Right, okay, Richie, what is it, mate? An hour later, I'm going to have to go. I've got things to do.
Things.
An hour later, right, we're off then. All right, mate, catch you later.
Yeah, but I suffer in the end. It's me. It's me going to deadline with nothing.
And it's me when clients ring me up going, have you finished that thing for me yet? No. What have you been doing? You wouldn't believe me.
I've been gabbing with God.
I've been talking about vaccines, chimeras.
So what? Where do you think this is going then? I mean, I know where it's going. We're fucked. We might as well give up now. But don't give up.
We didn't read the comments.
I'll read the comments.
Well, just really quickly, guys. Sorry, Rick and Cherry have dropped us a super chat. So
thank you very much, Cherry. How you doing? We've not heard from you for ages. And you're off in the land of bliss now, aren't you? Well, good on you, dude. Thank you very much. Rick, thank you, sir. And if anybody else would like to throw money at us, feel free.
Throw money at them.
Just as much as you feel like.
Absolutely right.
And that little bit more.
I wholeheartedly endorse that statement.
But let's say hello to a couple. Fat Belly, go fuck yourself. There's nothing. He caught me out. He went, Richie Allen site 403 error during one show.
Oh, yeah,
and you know what I'm like about the web stuff?
Yeah.
So in the middle of my show, I'm going, you fucking bastard. There was nothing wrong with it.
There was nothing wrong
No,
with
he's a
it.
prick. He's a prick. He's Irish as well.
Is he Irish?
But he's from that other bit. The English bit.
Is he?
Yeah.
I'm a Mexican. That's what they say.
The bit we kept.
The Northerners, they call us Mexicans. Us Southerners, the Mexicans. Of course, there's no such thing as Southern Ireland. You hear this a lot in the English media. He's from Southern Ireland. I want to murder those fuckers. There's just Ireland.
You say that.
No, but there's just Ireland.
But there's Northern Ireland.
Yeah,
isn't there?
I'm happy with Northern Ireland because.
Well, do you know that does indicate there's got to be three other fucking options.
There's Ireland.
I know. Don't give me the stereotype that he's doing.
No. I accept Northern Ireland is Northern Ireland, but then what's left is Ireland.
He's West
Or the Republic.
East.
These dickheads who say era. You want to smack them?
I don't say that.
No, I know you don't know.
I can't even pronounce Taoiseach. Taoiseach.
Yes, the Irish Prime Minister.
That fucking dead language. Why are people still
I
using
can't
that?
remember who it is now. Micheál Martin, that's the guy.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. How can I forget?
Micheál.
Oh, Micheál.
Micheál.
Fucking Jesus, man.
Before that was an Indian guy called Leo Varadkar. Honest to God.
I remember Varadkar.
Yeah, who
The gay
told
fella with
everybody,
the man with the
told
colourful
everybody
socks.
that they had to stay in. He lambasted the Irish public for ignoring lockdown and flouting the rules. And then the fucker was pictured in Phoenix Park with his top off, walking around with a load of his gay mates. I don't have a homophobic bone in my body, thank God.
Don't be culturally insensitive.
No, that's what he did. Yeah.
We got a comment from D-Lo27. Hello, D-Lo27. Do you think a good 10-year anniversary gift is a ticket to the next Meat Space? I think it's the best gift you could possibly give to anybody. But what we might be doing, we've started talking again with Stephen about events. And there's going to be an alt feed gathering. Maybe like the last one, maybe a bit bigger. Not massive. We can't do massive anymore. Just bigger.
No lateral flow tests. None of that fucking.
No, it's got to be when all that shit's gone.
None of that crap. Yeah.
No, I want proper tests.
Yeah, proper tests.
IQ tests.
IQ tests.
A quiz.
Yeah.
That's what I want. But no, we're definitely Keenan Hughes, £10. Thank you very much. Love me a bit of carcass.
No, he fucking doesn't. It's the first he heard of him tonight when you mentioned it.
And then he went to listen. He went, I fucking love that. Because Keenan knows.
Yeah.
Keenan knows. He's good people. No fucking Bono for him.
Bonio.
Yeah.
I just don't understand the attraction of death metal. I've tried. I've listened to Anthrax.
Anthrax on death metal.
No, I know.
Oh, bless you.
But I'm trying to think of a few names. You mentioned Napalm Death.
Napalm Death. Napalm Death.
Napalm Death. Like, what the fuck? What is it like? Where's the melody? Where's the lyrics?
No, they've got lyrics.
But you just can't hear them. Because it's.
Do you remember what you said? It's the height of fucking ignorance when people want subtitles for Irish and Scottish people.
Yes. But come on.
Granted, there are some bands I can't understand what they're saying, but in a lot of the extreme death stuff, the voice is almost another percussive instrument. It's almost just another part of the soundscape, the aggression of it and everything else.
I do this when I'm speaking to deluded people.
But the good thing is that they say music's subjective.
Of course it is.
But luckily, I know you're wrong.
You know I'm wrong. I had me phase. We all had our phase as teenagers. My phase was so I started off with, I'm not even going to say because it's just
Daniel O'Donnell.
Belly laughs. No, jeez, come on. Bon Jovi. And then
there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay.
Bon Jovi promoted a band called Cinderella.
Yes.
What was the guy's name? Tom Kiefer. No,
something like that. Yeah.
Very good. Great voice.
Smashing in those leather pants.
Brilliant. Song called Gypsy Road was a big hit for me.
I remember it very well.
So I tried to go a bit heavier, but once I got Metallica, and of course we saw Metallica. Caroline and myself went to see Metallica.
Much to my delight.
And cried about it. I mean, I never stopped crying. It was brilliant, but somebody should have fucking said, bring some earplugs. I mean, it was horrendous.
Well, I take earplugs. I damaged my hearing in bands all those years ago. My son has
everybody in the crowd had the earplugs.
Yeah, and my son has ear protectors as well. I took him to see Slayer on their final tour because he does like it, but I thought he's never going to see these bands.
Yeah.
But with me, with music, my brother's 11 years older than me. So when all my friends were getting into, in the 80s...
Black Sabbath and all that.
No. Oh, no.
None of that.
Not my brother.
Well, that was 70s anyway.
But also, it's just not... That's not my brother. That's definitely not my brother. But when everyone was listening to Grandmaster Flash...
Was he into the hip-hop, he was?
No. When you bring your ghetto blaster out...
The boombox, yeah.
Mine had David Bowie on it.
Did it? Good man. Proper music.
Yeah, to me... To all the other 12-year-olds, I was a bit fucking strange.
What were 12-year-olds listening to anyway? Most
they listened to hip-hop and rap because everyone did the break dancing, which I couldn't do the break dancing.
A roll of linoleum.
That's it, or cardboard or whatever they had. I didn't partake, but I remember I used to have Diamond Dogs on my stereo and ZZ Top.
Did you actually do the break dancing?
No, I couldn't do it. I can't dance.
What was the jacket called? Melita, was it? Was it a Melita jacket?
Oh, do you remember
a fucking jacket?
Do you remember whenever I had Sergio Tacchini bottoms?
Yeah,
with the two stripes to Dallas? Mine were knockoff.
This is 80s. I mean, this is incredible, isn't it?
The 80s. It's a different world now. That's a faraway land. But what I've noticed is all this nostalgia for the 80s. And as someone that remembers them quite well, I think a lot of this nostalgia is misplaced.
Why? Because it was shit back then?
It was just as shit as it is now, just a different kind of shit. We had more freedom as kids, obviously. There were apparently less pedos around. You were out at the crack of dawn. You didn't come home until it was done, and you're out doing dangerous shit.
By and large, your parents didn't really give a shit, did they? You were just gone, and that was it. Summer holidays, you were gone.
Oh, yeah. You were out.
Wow. I remember the Rally Grifter.
I had a Rally Chopper as well.
So my brother had a Rally Chopper. I had the Grifter. Yeah,
I had the Grifter after.
You had the Grifter. Silver.
Quality. Mine was blue.
Was yours blue? Mine was silver. 3-speed with the gear on the.
That always fucked up and turned white and left you.
Yeah.
All that, and then of course BMXs came in.
BMX.
I had me two of those. I had
the Mongoose was there as well.
I couldn't afford that. We had a Piranha and then a Barracuda. But near us there was an motorcycle scrambling course that kids had done or something. So we used to ride there, and I couldn't stay on it. There was no effective stunt riding I could do. It might surprise you, given my incredibly athletic frame and physique. What I mostly did was fall off.
Just fall off. Yeah. I never tried to do anything like that. Kids in our neighbourhood, Ballybeg and Waterford, they had those bikes, and they were doing those ridiculous stunts and usually coming to.
I could do the bunny hops.
The bunny hops
and the endos where you on your front wheel. I was all right there. The wheelies never ended well.
And some guys made millions out of that stuff, didn't they?
Yeah.
Some guys went on to be so good at it.
Who's the BMX? Tony Hawk's was a skateboarder, wasn't he?
Skateboarder, yeah.
Who's the one on the bicycle?
That's the Paul Newman phrase from The Colour of Money. If you're the best at anything, doesn't matter how obscure it might be.
Matt Hoffman,
was that the guy's name?
Yeah. Sorry.
No.
That's like the worst kind of spurging out anywhere, is it?
No, Matt Hoffman, the name, I remember that name. Newman said in The Colour of Money, no matter how obscure what it is you do is, if you're the best at it, I think he said something like, rich can be arranged.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how good you are, or doesn't matter how obscure the sport is, kind of a thing. But listen, get back to this, because I asked you this a few minutes ago. Where do you think this is going?
Where are we going? Let me give it a considered proper answer. Okay. We've run skipping into the arms of totalitarianism, no doubt about it. Many of the rights we've given up we're not getting back. I believe we've accelerated the cashless society idea dramatically, which scares me a lot because I've had run-ins with banks and the things that they can do, and the fact that your money is not your money. It's just not. I'm alarmed at how people have reacted. I thought we were better. I thought we were. And you don't want to do the Godwin's law thing. It's something we spoke about earlier. You don't want to invoke correlation or direct comparisons even. But people are very, very quick to jump on board to demonizing those who aren't like them and then attacking mercilessly. Do I think we're going to see camps and all that? No, I don't think we're going to go quite that far. At least not for a while.
Not now, yeah. Well, maybe.
I think future, because the thing is, what I've looked at throughout history is very few things are permanent. You're a history, educated in history, so you know this. Everything has to tip the other way. Will it happen in our life? I don't know. I'm seeing signs that some of the postmodernism, there's some kickback starting amongst different levels. That heartens me. A lot of the kids on Twitter, I don't mean the millennials, I mean the Gen Z, the other kid, they're fucking bastards, and I like that. They're harsh bastards, and that's good, because that's what you want them to be. So there's signs, I think, that it's very easy to get lost in despair. And like, you know, especially in the game we're in, where you're surrounded by it, you're being bombarded with it, and you think, fuck me. And you know, I've rang you sometimes going, right, it's all fuck Richie, we're fucked, you know, and you've done the same for me. But nothing's permanent. Everything can be fought. Everything can be worked around. What level of horror we have to experience to the next correction, I don't know. But I don't see it going anywhere great. I do see a push right now for, you know, the corporate kind of credit, social credit score thing.
We talked about this
years ago,
way before any of this.
So it's been a thing for me for fucking donkeys.
You were spot on when you said that the private sector, not governments, will drive it. Yeah. And you're spot on. It'll be the private sector.
In the Western world, the government can only go so far before it invariably falls apart.
Yeah.
Because not because of a sense of right and doing the right thing, just because people within the government sense an opportunity to gain great popularity by going against it. That's why backbench revolts and things like that happen. They secure your own position. But the private sector have no such issues. And as long as it's profitable, they're meeting their requirements to their shareholders, they can do anything they like. And I know there are companies out there doing all this ID stuff. One contacted me when Lively was still going about facial recognition that doesn't store anything, apart from points to verify age of people. You know, so what it looks for, apparently, this incredible AI looks for certain facial features that are only found in adults, and it has a very high hit rate. I said, I'm not interested in talking to you. I'm sorry. You know, well, what about the kids? Well, tell the parents to fucking look after them. What do you want me to do? Just, I'm not interested. And also, the empty your pockets for this shit as well. But I know there's going to come a time where they're going to say, well, you can't operate without that. And that's what these companies would love. But you've got to look to guys like the guy that invented Ethereum. Not the one that's publicly really well known, one of the other guys who's out there. He's doing stuff, he's making moves. Not to line his own pockets, do anything malicious. Just looking at ways to ensure freedom. Ensure that you can't be censored. And those guys are pushing hard with the crypto domain names, with working with the blockchain, where once it's out there, I told you about the Odyssey library guys who I spoke to, and you know, even he said, you know,
see a lot of stuff being shared through.
He owns the company, and he can't delete. He can remove it from one of the platforms, but he can't take it out of the network. So you just spawn another platform that he can't control, and then he's out of the picture. See, to me, that's perfect, because everyone should have control of their own platform. Whilst I'm against censorship and all that, I do believe that people have the right, if they want to make a platform where you can't say orange, power to you.
Is there a problem with all of this, though? I see an inherent problem, and that is, it's all very well for geniuses to ensure freedom of speech online, but ultimately, eventually, this has to come out of the cybersphere.
Oh yeah, well, I think online is a stepping stone.
On the street, doesn't it?
Online is a stepping stone. But if we can't enshrine the safety of people to organise, because it's not as easy as it used to be.
Of course, the only place you can do it now.
There's no local newspapers now. There's no, you know.
No.
So we need that. And I've just got to give a massive shout out to Craig Storer, who's made an amazing donation there, and said, "Have a drink on me, Craig. You're the fucking rock star, dude. Thank you so much." And did I miss another one there, Graham?
Craig.
Buckscore sent us £10 as well. Thank you, guys. It's appreciated. And by the way, we don't just piss it up the wall. We're trying to move mountains here now. As Richie will attest, he's sat here with us.
Anything you give the guys will go back into the studio they work from.
I mean, obviously, we are paying for Graham's transition.
Of course.
And it goes like the legal costs that come with having a Graham in your life.
The puberty blocking drugs cost a fortune, didn't they?
It's a difficult thing. It's a difficult time for him, but I try and stand by him because I'm his mate. I look after him. I've got his back. And he knows it. Why are you laughing?
Do you know what? I was more offended when you used to tell people I was a Nazi than I am now that you're telling people I'm a tranny.
He's transitioning.
Can't win, can you?
A tranny.
You can't fucking...
That's outrageous. That sort of language is...
It's outrageous. It's got no place on a show like this. You cunt. You fucking Nazi bastard.
We could get into that, but we won't because you do it. It's too boring for you. You do it too often.
We do it every fucking week.
Every week, I know, yeah.
I spent 2 years trying to convince people he was a paedophile. So, yeah.
I know, and he laughed. I'd have hired somebody to kill you, and he fucking laughed.
Amelia Charles, thank you so much. That's hugely appreciated. Thank you. Genuinely, we're touched when anyone gives us anything. We've still got nearly half an hour left, so that's good before your deadline.
Yeah, I'm going to give you 30 seconds. I'll tell you where we are. I agree with everything you said about where it's going. I can't add to it, so I'm not going to try and add to it.
I am very perfect.
No, it was well put. It was well put.
I sense a book coming in.
There's no but. Look, the World Economic Forum, the information that's out there. There is a world they'd like us to live in.
You won't own anything, and you'll be happy.
And you'll be thrilled about it. All debts forgiven and all of that crap. And of course, it'll be tied in. No, I wasn't going to say about because what you said was brilliant. They'll tie it into the nonsense that is the climate change agenda. Yeah. I talk a lot of bollocks on my programme, particularly in the monologue segments. Every now and then I take a shot at something and I hit the bullseye. Every now and then. It's not often. But yeah, I said last year, didn't I? How long before, well, on your street, Hayden, the odd-numbered houses, you can have a drive on a Sunday this week.
Oh, mate, let me go there.
All that, yeah.
Let me go.
Yeah,
First of all,
the
carbon neutral thing.
The carbon neutral
This
thing.
will be the most expensive government project ever.
Trillions doesn't cover it.
And we don't mean in the UK.
No, trillions doesn't cover it.
We have committed to something that's fucking impossible. And committed. And pointless.
Yeah.
Now, lowering carbon, I'm all for that because it's just shit we're pumping out with a load of other heavy metals.
It's dirty, but it's not warming the planet.
No, but fuck warming the planet. I'm all for cutting it because people will be healthier. Yeah. Kids do get asthma from the shit we're pumping out.
Yeah, air quality is important, yeah.
However, the decisions we're making are fucking mental. Where are we getting all these batteries from?
Yeah.
What about the poor kids that got to dig all that shit out the ground for the chips that go in? No one gives a fuck about that.
So do you not think then that the money you described there, so you're talking trillions?
Trillions.
So when
Schwab, what are they passing on? Look what they're going to do to homeowners.
This is it.
All right, you've got to put that 10 grand boiler in your house.
You've got to put the 10 grand boiler in. Right. So maybe, the trillions, and it's more than trillions, needed to meet net zero. All of that money will be borrowed from central banks.
Yes.
Of course it will. Is this the debt forgiveness that Klaus Schwab is hinting at? So in 15 years' time, our governments, whoever they are then, whoever it happens to be, will say, we're absolutely fucked now. There's no way we can pay them back. However, they've said they'll forgive the debt if...
Yes.
That's where it'll be.
Of course, it's what happened with Ireland to a degree, isn't it?
So Greece, Portugal,
as well, yeah,
Italy.
Bought out. Remember, I think I spoke to you about this actually about a few months ago about electric cars. I love the technology.
Yeah.
I love it. It sounds brilliant. I can't afford the ones
You're
that I like.
talking about the hybrid ones then, right?
Even the full electric ones. But no, the full-blown electric ones now are getting phenomenal.
Yeah. But they have to be fucking charged, right?
Well, that's not the problem for me. That's not because they will improve that, but technology has already improved leaps and bounds. It will happen. The more widespread it is, they'll get taken up. It's great. I think, they're pricing the ordinary people off the road.
Yeah, they are.
Which is a massive problem for me because freedom to move around, freedom to go wherever you want, whenever you want, is very important.
Well, it's fundamental. It's a fundamental human right.
The bus does not give you that.
No, it doesn't. No.
The other problem I've got is, and I said this, I see lockdowns in the future being very different. You can't drive outside of an area.
No doubt.
We will turn your car off.
No doubt, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
We will drive you home.
We'll drive you home, yeah.
And these are the things that worry me. I love tech. There are many aspects of tech other people find concerning that I really think are fucking great.
Yeah.
I have a little more faith in man for a lot of them. But I also know the government have been trying for years to get black boxes into cars. Insurance companies managed it, not governments. Oh, you want lower insurance?
Well, I remember Norwich Union was one of the first to do it. Yeah.
We'll see where you
Drive
go.
with the little black box. Yeah.
How fast you go.
All surveillance.
It's horrible.
And what about that fucking nutcase Greta Thunberg?
Oh,
And
that poor kid.
we're fucked. And this is a direct quote. We don't stop eating meat. We're fucked. It's astonishing, isn't it?
It's terrifying.
That anyone would listen
Now
to a mentally deranged
A
child.
disturbed young girl has been used.
Yeah, but she's absolutely barking fucking mad. I don't care about the spectrum. Fuck the spectrum.
She's about as barking mad
She's
as most
mental anyway.
teenagers with a cause, as far as I'm concerned.
she's worse.
She's just got a lot of support to enable it to
Watch,
go out there. But
watch
it's one of the
Children
things
Damned.
I had this. Yeah, true. But I had this discussion about lab-grown meat. So I looked into how it works.
That's another Gates concept, that.
Well, it predates him.
No, of course it predates him. But I shouldn't have said
Yeah.
concept. He's pushing it like a
But there's
mother's
aspects
right.
of that I really like. No, let me explain. Let me explain my thinking before we worry about whether we like it or not. Is it icky? You have a small group of livestock, tiny. You harvest stem cells from them. You may even only have to do it once. From them stem cells, they grow meat, whatever. Whatever your objections are, if they manage to do this, where it created meat.
Where does it end, though?
I know, but hold on, just bear with me. Let me explain my thinking. Bit of patience.
Before
you
piss
start.
all over it.
Before you start with your paranoid nonsense, you junkies bastard. But let's say they create a meat that doesn't do any harm. No ill effects, it's meat. Okay, it's grown meat. Tastes like meat, possibly a little less harmful than meat. I don't know. It's meat. Let's just take it as read. For me, that is the perfect answer. Because it removes any guilt I have.
The answer to what, though?
The guilt I have for eating animals.
Fuck the guilt. But that's.
I could still have the tasty thing.
But you've moved away from whether.
I know, but I'm explaining.
Whether farming is producing carbon that is warming the planet.
But that's
all of a sudden the guilt.
But that's not my thought process.
No, I know. But
my desire for it comes from there.
Yeah.
So I really like that. Every farmer I've met has been a prick. So mostly I think fuck them as well. But, they've enjoyed the subsidies. They've had the time in the sun. We change the clocks for the pricks every fucking year. So they can go and, change which haystack the Mercedes is hiding under.
This is true. The
Every word of it.
To not farm. Don't get me started. I mean, we wrote the book on that in Ireland, but then of course it's the European Union.
When I went to Galway in the 80s.
It's too Westworld for me, to be honest. It just is.
It's the future, dude.
It's completely sterile, awful, soulless fucking shit. No. And of course, it's not going to be. I mean, anything that's genetically modified. I mean, we're not going to get into it.
It's not genetically modified.
No, I know it's not genetically modified, but it's in the same fucking ballpark.
Yet.
Yeah,
it will be.
It's in the same ballpark. Yeah. So no. Look, I eat meat. I don't eat red meat anymore. We do as much as we can. I'm not going to virtue signal.
What
we do
kind
as
of
much
man
as
are
we
you?
can. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we do as much as we can to buy organic. In fact, we do buy organic, and we don't buy factory farm stuff. No, it's.
I've got to
everything you
address
described
Smoke
there.
Steve here. He thinks it's an anti-hunting stance. Steve, if I could eat...
He's on the other
He's
side
American.
of the pond, isn't he, Steve?
Right,
Yeah.
right. Like so that he thinks he's like fucking Robert Redford in that film. He's not. He's just a bloke that sits in his house making cocktails and smoking
He's
weed
more
all
like
day.
Burt Reynolds in Deliverance.
Ned Beatty.
Ned Beatty, yeah.
Sorry, Steve. Sorry, brother. He does the
Ding,
Saturday.
ding, ding,
He
ding,
does the
ding, ding.
Saturday show. No, wouldn't it be better to have meat where nothing had to die for me to eat? It's a thought. It's a thought. I know meat maybe tastes better to you because you think it's manly that someone's beat the pig to death with a hammer. I know that's a thing for you. But in the civilized world, we might not share that. Remember, you live in a country that's now offering the people the choice whether to be shot or electrocuted.
That's right.
When they've been a bad person.
Hobson's choice. There you are.
Obviously shot.
Fried to death or shot.
Obviously
shot all
shot.
day long. Shot, yeah.
I don't want to
Yeah.
be fried. Well, it probably won't. I would say what happened to me because I won't kill anyone.
None of the condemned men that I ever wrote to during my years of activism excuse me, none of them.
We have to do a quick thank you to Rob Adams. Says fair play to you both. Good
How you doing,
conversation. Love and vibes, you and yours. Cheers, Rob. Thank you very much.
No, I was going to say, none of the guys I ever wrote to, never wrote to any female prisoners because there weren't too many on death row. It was always men. None of them were ever electrocuted. It had pretty much gone out then. At that stage, it was lethal injection pretty much. And I wrote to one chap who ended up, God love him, he ended up, he got the gas chamber in the end.
Oh.
And yeah, it's horrendous, isn't it?
That's a bad ride out.
Horrendous. It doesn't get any worse than that, really. Of all of them, of all the methods, the gas chamber is about the worst one, yeah.
Incredibly painful.
Horrendous, yeah.
I don't like the sound of any of it, which is why I'm going to avoid killing anybody.
Over there.
In
Texas.
Oh, I don't really want to kill anyone over here.
No, anyway, of course, yeah. Well, civilized society, yeah, putting people to death in those...
How are you any better?
Well, of course you're not. It's one thing we've always
You saw
agreed
that
on.
Michael Portillo documentary, didn't you?
Yeah.
When I think, what
Was
gas
he
was it?
waterboarded in that, or is that another documentary?
No, this was all about like,
the electric, yeah.
Capital punishment.
Yeah.
And they discovered the gas, was it nitrous? It was some kind of gas anyway. When you inhale it, you get a feeling of euphoria and you die.
Laughing gas.
Yeah, you die happy. You know? And they're like, why would we give them that? So it's like, oh, you want them to suffer.
They want
you
them
want
to
the pain.
Yeah.
So we've gone past justice now. We're into revenge. It all sits very badly with me. It sits very badly.
How do you do the job? I don't understand how you are a warden, say in Huntsville, say. You know that fairly often during the year you're going to have to do. I don't know how any man
you're going to kill someone
or woman could do that.
In great pain. You're going to cause great pain as they die.
I interviewed
and yet they are morally superior to those pricks out in the desert down in Mexico cutting people's heads off.
I interviewed a guy, Hayden, many, many years ago who had done the job for years, retired, happy with himself. He was proud of the service he gave. He was stone cold about it. The state sent these guys here. I'm doing my job. If they didn't do what they'd done, they wouldn't be here. Bada bing, bada boom, happy days. I go home and I sleep easy. Now, he'd retired at this stage. And he had overseen the lethal injection being given to, I think, somewhere in the region of about 30 or 32 blokes during the years he had done it. And he said he was happy. But I didn't believe him. I thought, there must be dead of winter nights when you
see a few faces.
You see a few faces.
Was that Pierre Point, wasn't it? How many people was it he hanged?
It was more than 100, wasn't it?
He was brutally efficient.
Yeah, Albert Pierre.
Yeah, but it was all about the quick. He had to be very quick. But he killed a load of Nazis that he felt great about. He felt great about that because they were Nazis.
But you see...
But he didn't mock or... He had really strict rules, didn't he?
But feeling great about it.
Yeah. Oh, I imagine you felt vindicated because you remember in the Second World War, they were the bad guys. They were the enemy.
They were, but whatever they did, they didn't do it to him.
Oh, no, but his job, that was his job.
What they
he
did,
could
course,
compartmentalize what he did.
Because that's what you said a moment ago.
Yeah.
The state shouldn't be exacting retribution.
Oh, yeah, believe me, I wasn't saying it was a good idea because Pierre Point did it.
No, I know.
But what fascinated me about that man was the way he could compartmentalise his life. Because I remember his wife, when they interviewed her, saying, comes home from work.
Yeah,
shoes off.
There was a drama, wasn't there?
But also I read about him years ago.
Timothy Spall played him.
He did, didn't he? Yeah.
Timothy Spall played him and done a good job of it.
Timothy Spall does a good job in
good actor,
everything he's in. But I think his wife in an interview was saying, like, he just comes home, has his tea, goes to bed, doesn't wake up.
Couldn't do it.
I think it takes a very strong and certain type.
Unless
of
somebody did something to you. I mean, you have a son.
That's a different thing. That's why justice should never be left up to parents.
That's a different thing, and that's hot-blooded, and you can forgive that. But even I can say this, and I've heard horrendous stories on the radio show about paedophilia. I've heard horrendous stories. I've interviewed victims of it, and it's horrendous. It's how do I know it didn't happen to me? But even still, if you say to me, this guy raped those children and worse, and maybe murdered them, I don't want to be talking. It's so awful to talk about this stuff. But you said to me, could you execute him? No fucking chance.
I don't know that I could.
No chance.
I think you give up a piece of your soul, don't you?
Yeah, no chance. He didn't do it to me. Lock him up for the rest of his life. Let him, give him the life of Brian. Hang him by his fucking ankles.
By his thumbs.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, I couldn't do it. No matter how bad, as long as he didn't do it to me, you can't be a hypocrite. The state shouldn't do it on behalf of anybody. We were lucky here. They abolished it here in the 50s, didn't they? It was in the 50s, the last one.
Wasn't it Ruth? What's name was the
Ruth
last
Ellis.
woman, wasn't she? And then with the last boys.
I don't know who the last man was, but
it wasn't the Mavic guys, was it?
Was it?
Was it Derek Bentley? Was
Yeah.
it? I can't remember.
Yeah. No, the state shouldn't do it. But there's been talk. There's always talk.
Oh yeah.
Of it eventually coming back in here for certain
people would
for
support
certain
it
crimes,
as well.
you know?
People would support it.
Yeah.
And obviously my main fear with that, like anything else, is you've only got to
No going back.
kill one innocent person,
No going back.
and you've got blood on your hands forever.
Absolutely. I interviewed John Thompson. John formed a group called, he died, John, God love him. John formed a group called Resurrection After Exoneration. And John came on my radio shows for years when I was in Spain. Lovely guy. Some of the interviews actually were very dark because he got very depressed during the interview. I do that to people sometimes. But he was reflecting. He was reflecting on the horrors of his situation. Twice John was moved to the 24-hour cell where they put you beforehand. Twice. So he's in there and he's thinking, this is it, game over. And each time there was a stay. Of course, the obvious question for a presenter is, what does that do to you? Like, you know? And he's like, at that stage, you've spent 17, 18 years. You just want to fucking die. Just
I was going to say, I think
just give it to me.
They've said to him, just do it. Just get it done.
But there was a lawyer who just wouldn't let it go from one of these great organisations, not the famous one, but another one. And they eventually found the evidence that exonerated him. Some dirty bastard prosecutor had buried blood evidence that excluded John, had buried it because he was on the make. The prosecutor, he was on the rise, like.
Yeah,
so he found evidence that totally excluded him and fucking buried it.
Imagine that.
Yeah, but what he couldn't do is he couldn't destroy it. There was some reason why he couldn't destroy it without implicating himself in it.
Was he charged with attempted murder?
No, not at all. And the state then awarded John, I think, something like $750,000, which is a pittance.
Yeah, it's nothing.
But they never gave it to him. And in fact, he used to joke with me on the radio. They used to say to him, John, John won this off the state. John will be awarded this. But I think the governor of the state or somebody said to him privately, when there was nobody listening, no phones, no cameras, no media, said, you never see a fucking dime of that, John. They hated being exposed more than they hated themselves for nearly killing the guy who didn't do anything to anybody.
Of course. Because his life is valueless. Fucking dirtbags.
Yeah, this is it.
This is what we're up against at all levels. This is what we're up against at all levels, you know. Because what people always miss is, you know, when something comes out that a newspaper lied, and it's like once in a while you say, how could they do that? And I always telling people, none of them remember it. What else are they lying about? If they lied that easily about that,
every time
what
they open
else
their
did they
mouths.
lie to you about?
Yeah.
But of course you can't assume everything's a lie.
No, not at all, no.
Because down that road, madness lies. But it's so hard. It's so difficult because you are up against, regardless of where you sit on the conspiracy spectrum, at best you're dealing with an apathy of people who think you're beneath them and of less value and less worth than them. And at worst, you're dealing with corrupt, fucking murderous people like you just described. These guys are all in power. Behind you. Look behind you.
Why? What's he doing?
He's standing up.
Has he got something to say?
I don't know. You don't have to stand up if you want to say anything. Graham.
I've
Can you
been
just raise your hand?
Just join in, yeah.
I've been up for 20 minutes
No,
now.
don't raise your hand like that, Graham. No. Just that, straight up, not outwards. That's bad. We've spoken about that. Look what happened to Dan Cula.
You interviewed him, didn't you?
We did. We had him on the show.
Yeah, he was great. I remember the interview. It was really good.
I really like. I hope we get to do another one in the future.
He satirically taught the dog to do the old Heil Hitler.
Yeah.
And they tried to destroy him for it.
Did that level best.
Fucking hell.
The internet saved him by giving him a living.
Bit of satire.
But wherever he can't get a job.
Because of this.
Wherever he gets a job.
Boy, he's deemed now to be a Nazi, is he?
No, if he gets a job somewhere. Oh, he is, yes. They will barrack his employers
to get rid of him.
Yeah, was it a pawn shop, Graham, he got a job at?
A porn shop or a pawn shop?
Pawn shop.
Yeah.
It was something like that. And the guy said, look, Mark, I've got to let you go. getting dogs abuse here. I can't cope with this. So that's what they do now. They want to destroy you because there's a fucking thrill in it for them. It's satisfying. And it doesn't matter because he's a Nazi.
Yeah, but he isn't a fucking...
Of course he's not a Nazi. The kid, he was a communist when he was a kid. He's still got the fucking tattoo. You know, he's obviously not a Nazi.
I remember the story when it was hot. I remember you telling me you were getting him on. I watched the interview. It was a great interview.
He's a great guy. He's very funny. He's very sharp. And I'd love to get him
back in
here, you know, that'd be cool.
But now he's virtually unemployable.
But luckily, he's doing very well. Got his YouTube monetization, but he produces compelling content. Not just... Excuse me. Oh, thank you. Sorry, I've got to call someone out. We always gorgeous George Begonia, who says, "Got your shit together, brothers. Serve reality." Cheers, George.
Gorgeous George.
Gorgeous George Reed. He came all the way from the States to see us at Meat Space.
Is
he was the guy sat on the couch.
This is the George.
That's him. He was sat on the couch over there, yeah.
How are you, sir? We had a lovely chat that night.
I went to meet him, you know, for a brew, I think, the day after.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
or a couple of days after he'd been did a bit of journeying.
When was that? 18 months ago now, was it, or something like that?
It was November 2019, wasn't it, Graham?
Was it?
Yeah.
Just before COVID, because we planned...
we were planning the next one when COVID happened. And we are going to do another, we'll call it Meat Space and Alt Feed Gathering, whatever it is, we're going to do it and build on what we did last time.
Mic everyone up.
Just give Tez one mic this time. Just not two. Although one of my great pleasures in life was doing my bit and looking over and seeing Tez trying to figure out if he could use the Henry Hoover as a boom mic.
As a boom mic, yeah.
That was beautiful. Ingenuity.
Yeah. It's not the BBC.
No.
What about that?
He just had to run around and give the mics to people. But the reason we're going to have one mic is because we had two. He'd give it to someone else ready. And of course, they'd sit there bending it. And
that's right. Yeah.
Get all the noises.
Brilliant.
And Raw Geek. Buy a glass for that Guinness. Cheers, Raw Geek. Thank you very much, mate.
Could have brought me on. I've got 4 of them toughened.
I wasn't allowed to bring a glass because my wife knows me so well. I would leave it. I would break it. I would lose it. She knows me too well. I'm not to be trusted with glass. You might as well let me go outside with a loaded gun or a knife. Yes, it is. I love stout. The older I get, the more I like it. I told you my Brewdog accident.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I have bought many cans of Brewdog now because I went online shopping when I was drunk. So of course I did nothing but buy loads of fucking beer. So
that's not gone out of style. This microbrewery stuff. Everybody's still at it. Everybody's still buying this stuff. Yeah.
Normally, if you'd have said to me a couple of years ago, "Would you like some marshmallow and chocolate stout?"
You wouldn't.
I'd have said no, thank you very much.
You need to come and see me. We are. I shouldn't say this because people will know where I live then. We're not too far away from the Seven Brothers Brewery.
Right.
Which is a legendary brewery in Salford. It's a lovely place to go. Everything you drink in there is brewed on the premises. It's a proper pub. Everything is brewed there. It's all their own ales, their own IPAs and all that sort of stuff. Seven Brothers, yeah. Been there twice. Was really getting into it. And then this
happened.
Bollocks.
That's a hobby you can pick back up, though.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not a big drinker, so as a rule, I'm just really not.
No, you're not. No, I am, sadly.
It took me donkey's years to get through that rum you bought me that time. It took me fucking years.
Yeah,
it had gone past the point where I should have been drinking it. But I thought, I've been bought it.
Gotta drink it.
But to be honest, the tankard that came with it, I still use. I like that a lot. The glass tankard, that was really fucking cool.
Nice touch,
I do like that.
I look after my pals.
You do. That was a very pleasant surprise.
But God be with the days, eh? It's open now. I don't know what they're asking people to do. I think
drink.
No, but in terms of going inside, I think
no, you're allowed inside.
You can go
now.
Inside, yeah.
And from the end of June, all being well.
Pop around Saturday. Yeah.
I've only just noticed that new Wi-Fi hotspot has a glowing light on it.
Lovely. We're being watched, are we?
Irradiated.
Irradiated.
The programming.
My phone picks up 5G here, so we're all being fucking poisoned to death.
Because my phone's not 5G.
Is it not?
Mine's 4. I have a 4G phone.
Graham doesn't know where the transmitter is. It's obviously outside somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know where the 5G transmitter would be right now. I'm not seeing any towers while I've been driving 5G around.
5G is death.
That's why we've all died from it.
Oh, all right. So it's going to be instant, is it? So they're going to switch off.
Oh, no. Oh, so I see how it works. If I don't get hit by cancer or anything else, when I'm on my deathbed...
It takes its time.
When I'm on my deathbed at 85, you're going to go, I fucking told you.
How many jelly babies and fizzy cola bottles do you think it would take for you to get cancer? Exactly. It could take some time.
Well,
sugar is a big carcinogen.
If it happens when I'm 85, I don't give a fuck what did it.
The COVID might kill you before then, or the AstraZeneca jab.
I won't have.
So are you going? You're exactly. I was going to ask you that. So you won't have the AstraZeneca one.
No.
So how do you? Are doctors listening to patients in terms of this is my preference?
I don't know.
You'll find out.
I'm not having AstraZeneca. Pfizer for me. Pfizer. No, seriously, it's the one I want. It's the one I want. What are you laughing at?
It's as casual as Carlsberg. No, I'll have Stella actually. No, just give me a double Bacardi and Coke.
Yeah.
It's all fucking shit.
Yeah, but I want, if I'm going to get it, I want the experimental one.
You must be getting,
because that AstraZeneca one's fucking not good. I don't like that.
It's safe for me to make an assumption that there must be a handful of the people who listen to the radio show, only because I put a video up before we came on. There must be a handful of them here. They must be giving you absolute dog's abuse.
I don't know. I don't care if I want to have 3 or 4. Maybe I want to receive 5G as well. You dickheads. Why shouldn't it be me? Why shouldn't it? Why can't I have a closer connection with Bill Gates? Fuck you people telling me what to do.
If you can't travel to Spain for a tan, just
inject me with that shit.
Transmitter, yeah.
Just fucking load me up. There is actually a 5G tower not very far from where I live. Sprang up overnight.
Overnight.
Literally.
Yeah.
Well, I say that. Do you know what, mate? My wife will tell you, they could have put one on my street. It could have been there 6 months, and one day I'd bump into it and go, where the fucking hell did this thing come
but you made a good point. They did put these things up at the speed of light during the lockdown. What does that tell you?
Yeah, I think ours was just before, actually. I can't...
Was it? But around the country, they did. I know they put one near...
Great time for doing any work, which is why they've saved all the road
that
works.
You don't want people to interfere with. But they were planning on putting one at the very top of Weast Lane in Salford. But there was enough resistance from locals there. Locals made it perfectly clear that the thing would be fucking destroyed if they put it up there. So they didn't. Happy days.
I think that one from me is just far enough away because I can't hear the voices.
Yeah, but that's not. That's just a fucking... That's a Wi-Fi booster. That's not... Oh, yeah. It just dawned on me. Wrap it up, will you? Fucking hell. I think there's a lump in me kidney.
That was the most beautiful moment of realisation I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. It's amplifying the fucking 5G signal. Just dawned on me. Christ almighty. Sure, there's always the Guinness.
We're all fucking doomed. Dude,
we're here all week.
I promised hang on, let's say a couple of thank yous. Sorry, guys. Gem, thank you very, very much. That was lovely of you. Steve Satch says, great show, lads. Could listen to you talking for at least another 5 or 10 minutes. Richie's got to go home and go to bed. He gets very cranky.
Very cranky. Jimmy cranky, I guess.
You won't get your radio shows, and you do want your radio shows. Richie, always a fucking pleasure, dude.
Brilliant.
Absolute
as always.
pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
But we're going to start having you every fucking week, aren't we?
Well, we are. Yeah, I'm looking forward. I don't know when we're going to do it. It's probably going to be after the summer, isn't it? It's probably going to be summer.
I don't know. I don't mind.
The summer, yeah.
Maybe during the summer when it all chills out.
Maybe during the summer, yeah. But no, if anybody wants to check out those old shows, they were great crack, and they look very good. Hayden did a great job.
It was all chroma key, wasn't it?
It was all chroma key, and it was great fun, and I loved it. And the only reason we stopped was because of the workload for you and for me. I'd love to do it again.
Well, we will, and we'll do it.
It's just that camaraderie. It's just the fact that when you do radio from your own radio studio and you do your own production and your own editing, I'm playing the violins now again, but you don't see anybody. And I'm somebody who is better in the company of other people.
Well, that's the good thing. We can hang out. We got the Colin and Lorraine around, Stephen's around, other shows, and we'll just hang out. We'll have fun. That will be on a Thursday evening. At some point, we'll let everybody know in the fullness of time. I don't believe there's an international pub this weekend, or it's looking a bit shady, Smoke Steve said. So please do subscribe to the Alt Feed channel on YouTube. We've got lots more cool stuff coming up. Go to altfeed.org, sign up, post your blogs, make your lists, do whatever the fuck you like, providing it doesn't get me in legal trouble. If it gets you in legal trouble, that's your problem. Just don't get me in legal trouble. We're even working on an internal ad system, so we're going to try and raise ads ourselves as we grow.
Brilliant.
So that we're not beholden to third parties too much.
To the G word, yeah.
We're going to do everything we can. But we'll be back next week at 10 p.m. UK time. Do follow me on Twitter. It's at Hayden Hewitt. Follow Graham, who's been very quiet tonight because he's been very busy and professional, at Graham Booth, sat over there on his table, looking a bit moody, actually, if I'm honest with you. I think we've ignored him too much. And, of course, BBG Richie.
That's the one.
On Twitter.
BBG Richie.
Do throw him a follow. Go to richieallen.co.uk and sign up. Read. And obviously listen to your radio show, which is on 14 nights a week. And is the only, at the moment, on Alt Feed Radio.
It's the only one, isn't it?
There's unsigned acts. There's hundreds of them on there now. And you. That's all that's on there right now. And as you say, what more do you want?
What more do I want? Nothing. I've got everything. What do you give the man who's got everything?
AIDS.
Absolutely. Have that, you prick.
What a fucking dickhead that was. It had gone so well. I'd done so well. Charlotte on the piano, thank you so very, very much. Nice to see you, Charlotte. I hope you're doing well. We've got to go, haven't we?
Got to go, yeah.
So we will do this again, obviously, and the Richie Allen TV show...
I'll get permission to stay up a bit later.
There you go, and the Richie Allen TV show will be coming back to us soon, and that'll be on Alt Feed as well, and we'll be having one big fucking party. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Richie, thank you for coming in.
Cheers,
Graham,
mate.
thank you for being very stoic this evening. I've got to pack loads of shit up to take with me filming this weekend, so I'm here for ages yet. Guys, take care. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.